Welcome to the Rick Dollar Show podcast. Here's a guy who thought those voices in his head sounded familiar. Your host, Rick Dollar.
Hey folks, a few days ago I got to sit down with an old friend of mine, Laura Orshaw. You probably remember her from the Po Ramblin Boys days, but these days she's doing her own thing with Dark Shadow Recording. And this is how that went. Rick Dollar here for the Rick Dollar Show and the Rick Dollar Show podcast. Check us out on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Audible. Is that enough?
I think you're at all the parties, Rick.
I think that's enough. Okay. I can't keep up with more than that. Okay. All right. My guest today is Miss Laura Orshaw. Laura, how are you?
I'm doing so good, Rick. It's really nice to see you again.
Yeah, you too. You got, your background there is just the beautiful state of Kentucky. So
yes, no fake background here. I'm going all in. This is my home in Kentucky, and I've almost been here a year now. So soaking it all in, getting to know the area just outside of Louisville. A lot of good music. So it's been good.
Louisville's a great place to go for music. And what's the larger venue that's there? There's
a great theater in town.
Yeah.
Kind of blanking on the name of it right now, but I've seen Sam Bush there, of course. He's a Louisville boy. There's also a really cool arts center called the Monarch. Really nice, quaint little venue, but they host jams there every month that the Bibelhauser brothers put on, and then have been having some great acts in there too. Bronwyn Keith Hines recently came through. Michael Pruitt, I played with him there. So also a cool spot to keep an eye on if you're coming through Louisville and wanting some good music.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's a lot of good places that sometimes don't get the press that they need to get, I feel like. And Louisville's one of them. I've seen and heard all of those acts, advertising online or advertising being there and things of that nature. But you've got people in Kentucky that will maybe never be discovered to the general public.
Right. Yep.
Just because they're the best kept secret in the world, man.
I know, that's the thing about bluegrass. We all have seen it before. Some of those pickers just sitting out at the Bluegrass Festival never head up to the stage, and you get the best show just right there in the field. So
you're like, Sam Bush? Oh, he's going to be here next week. Yeah, well, okay. Wonder what kind of pizza they got over there. But it's like, I think being in the industry, the way that you're probably really just exposed to all kinds of cool stuff that just doesn't stay in the gray matter long. I mean, and nothing against you, because I do the same thing. Like,
absolutely.
Crap, I forgot about that show. Why not? I missed one a couple of weeks ago here in Savannah that I was just like, I've been working to get this done and I'm not there.
Yeah. So. Yeah. It's tough to do it all. There's so much going on, especially this time of year. Summertime is when it happens for bluegrass folks in particular. And
exactly.
Now we're heading towards the end of it, and fall is my favorite season. So I'm really looking forward to the fall and enjoying a little bit of, more time at home and all that. But, it's a lot this time of year. We're all feeling it.
It can be so much, let me tell you. I mean, you and I were just talking a second ago about IBMA and everything, and nothing against IBMA. I'm a member. I've been a member for a long time. I love the place. I love the people.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of great people, but, talking about the fall, we're going to head toward the other mountains up in the Smokies, and, for 4 or 5 days of just a lot of just sitting on a porch, looking at that, saying, ooh, wow, look at those mountains, I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting older or something. I just love being where it's quiet,
Yep,
nothing wrong with a conference, but crap, I just gotta hang out with the deer. Maybe if I don't want to hang out with the bears though.
Well, you might not have a choice there.
Yeah, that's so true. Exactly. So you are a very busy lady with your new project from Dark Shadow. Let's talk about that.
Oh yeah, happy to. I think maybe last time I was on, I had just released Red Bandana, the first single
Yeah,
off the project.
you
And it
did.
was a really fun, really fun single and a really fun time to jump back in after not having I guess it's been about 3 years since my last solo project, Solitary Diamond, came out. So it was just really fun to jump back in, put another fresh track out there. But now I've got the second single out. Seeing the Best of You is the title of that one. And I was so happy this one got made the cut for the album because it's the first song that I have written that is a single. So for me, it was like a really nice feat to, as my development of a songwriter, to kind of have it out there as a featured track for the album. And
Let's talk about that song. Where did the idea for that song come from?
well,
I'm always curious about these things. I know
yeah.
it's kind of silly, but
Well, this is a song that I co-wrote with Josh Wrinkle,
Mhm.
and I was talking to him about how I wanted to write more for this upcoming project, and he is just constantly writing. He never stops. I mean, he'll be sitting in the car and just kind of riffing on different lyrics, making up silly songs about things we pass on the road, in the kitchen cooking dinner, coming up with lines. And, many of them may never go anywhere, but it's amusing to me.
But it's fun,
Yep. And it's all good practice for those songs that just hit you. And so
Yeah.
I was talking to him about how I wanted to do more and asking for, his advice.
Mhm.
And he said, well, why don't we, while we're in the car, just pick an object, first thing that comes to your mind, just pick it. And we're going to write a song about it.
Mhm.
And, I always have my glasses on my face.
I do
have
too
since
when
I was-
when I have them, unless I have them up here and then I can't find them.
Yeah. I've worn glasses since I was 7 years old. So anyways, I said, okay, glasses. And, I thought this would just be like a little silly writing exercise.
Mhm.
So, we start coming up with lines and ideas and concepts. And then, the song Seeing the Best of You rather quickly came out of that. And at the end of it, I was kind of like, this is kind of a fun, decent song. Like, I would like to play this. So it actually became a pretty fun, cool, country bluegrass flavored song about kind of being blinded by or this infatuation or love you have for somebody. A lot of us probably can relate to that in some way. You meet someone and you fall in love, and it's like you really can only see the good things in them, and you're missing, or you're not really seeing the bad things or the things that are a red flag, or maybe they're behind your back.
Yeah. Your feet look funny. Or
could be anything.
Could be anything.
So really that's the theme, but told through this symbolic way of looking at it, talking about glasses and really not being able to see very well.
Mm-hmm. Well, Dark Shadow is, those guys over there, it's ridiculous the things that can come out of there. I've had more than one artist tell me, I've taken these ideas in there and this happens or that happens, or I had no idea this was going to go this far or go in this direction. And I guess that's what's happened to you over this last few months, and going into a year or so of what you got from those guys. It's just amazing. And
it's really incredible. They're kind of like, that old kid story, The Little Engine That Could. It's Stephen and Yana and small team, and they really handpick the artists that they want to work with and support and create this just boutique style approach where it's really hands-on, and they have so much dedication and so much knowledge and experience just from their own work in the industry. So I feel very fortunate to be working with them, and it does have that like family feeling. You know
Oh,
hear
it
that all the
does.
time in our industry, but it really does have
It,
that family feeling.
I've had more than, like I said, I've had more than one artist say, I had this really weird idea that I didn't think was going to go anywhere. And Steven and Yana can come up with something like that. And it's just, I don't know, it's the beauty of what they do and the individuality that they look at things totally different than maybe even the songwriter would do.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
so it's just weird, but I
Yeah.
love them to death. They're great people. If I was ever gonna make a record, man, I would go straight to Stephen Mogen.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be the dude because nobody turns the knobs like that fella does. And he, you know,
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
it's just
Makes it easy for me. I that's all I have to worry about is my little booth there, and he's got everything under control, and really is a great coach for songwriting, for singing, for performance in the studio to really, get the best out of whoever he's working with.
that's what I
So
was getting ready to say. Does he hammer you pretty good when you go in there?
he knows what I'm
Because,
capable of,
yeah.
and he knows what he's looking for. And if
Uh,
and if he knows he's not getting the best, he'll find a way.
you know,
It's like,
these
okay, let's
all these country guys used to say that about Carl Jackson. They'd be like, they call it, I forget what they called it, man, torture chamber. That's what it was. And I was like, wow, are you that bad?
yeah.
Like, yeah, but I mean, if it's not there, I need to find it.
Yeah, well, that's his job, and he takes it
Exactly.
very seriously. And I love, when I work with him, he works very quickly,
Mm.
and it doesn't feel like it's draining out. It feels like a very high energy kind of thing. Oh, we have some visitors here.
Hey, pup. We have dogs here too.
They're seeing the neighbor puppies.
Wonder if they want to play. Maybe
Yeah,
not.
they have not made their debut in the studio yet, but they have strong voices.
They will, I'm sure. Stephen will say, hey, I saw those dogs, What could we do with that? But
Right.
it's just kind of odd though to me, and I mean odd in a good way, that producers and creative people that I'm seeing right now in the bluegrass industry, they are digging deep and they're finding stuff that I would have never thought that we would ever be hearing, you know. So it's just kind of odd, but I'm really really happy about that. You can only play, 9-pound hammer so many times in
Yes,
so
right.
many different ways. So,
Yeah, I
what are you
think
gonna do?
that having some creative process with Steven and Yana in particular, they really value that too. Like putting out something that feels new, that feels fresh, that has not been done over and over, and really looking at the integrity of the music and the artist, which feels good. It just feels good to do that work.
It does because somebody is looking at you and they're saying, I know what you can do. I know how this is going to work, but we just got to make it happen. And, there again, it's the beauty of what they do. And so who knows in the future what could happen with what you're doing. So,
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, Rick. It's really nice to know that you're feeling that way, and the audience too that is listening
well,
to your shows are looking for that kind of thing.
yeah, I mean, but the first time I ever talked to you, I think we met at the Pigeon Forge Bluegrass Festival. And you can tell sometimes when you're around somebody how they're doing their business or how they're doing what they do, and if they're serious or not. And I think at that time you were looking to move, up a level, so to speak. Just have a little bit more of you involved in what's happening, and not just cookie cutter stuff, like we see in the industry sometimes. But
Yeah. Yeah. That's really for me what this last year or so has been about. I mean, I've not been touring as much, but I've been doing some freelance work, which has been really nice just to be able to try out different things with different artists, different sounds. And also, all of them have been really open to featuring
Hmm.
me and my vocals, things that I've done on my previous solo projects. So getting that kind of support from other artists, like-minded folks has
Oh
been
yeah.
fun. And then, with IBMA coming up too, I'm really excited. I'm going to be doing some showcases with Joy Louise, who is a guitar player
Oh
from
yeah.
Arizona, and she's an amazing player and singer, also does songwriting. And she hasn't spent as much time on the East Coast. So it's exciting for me to
Oh
like be
wow.
able to introduce her to a lot of my my music friends. And we've been working up stuff for my last solo projects up from this upcoming one and then some of her originals. So doing 4 or 5 showcases at IBMA, letting people know that we're now kind of out there as an entity, and hoping to book some stuff next year with that act, like you said, that really represents more of what I'm about, music, and showcases me in the forefront and making the decisions and trying
Exactly.
things out and hoping for the best.
You know what's weird though? Ever since I met you, you told me that you were from the Boston area.
I moved to Boston. I guess I was 21 or 22. I actually grew
Yeah.
up in Pennsylvania, but I spent about twelve years there before moving to Nashville.
Wow.
So yeah, I definitely was around that classic Boston accent and vibe. But
Oh my
it's kind
gosh.
of it's a big enough city that you get a little of everything there
Man,
too. And thankfully there was a lot of good music. So
there's
I
some
soaked
killer
that.
food there though. There's
Yeah,
great food.
yes. Seafood, Italian food. I'm a foodie,
Mm.
so
Yeah, I'd be in trouble there if I hang out there too much. Hey, we'll be right back, folks, with more from Laura Orshaw, right here on The Rick Dollar Show.
Check out The Rick Dollar Show on Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok at The Rick Dollar Show. To see more great content, check out The Rick Dollar Show on YouTube. The Rick Dollar Show.
This is Gavin Largent. Make your plans now for IBMA World of Bluegrass. It's in its new home, Chattanooga, Tennessee, September 16th through 20th. You can enjoy showcases, seminars, the IBMA Award Show, and the Weekend Festival. Get all the details at ibma.org.
Want to make your advertising dollar go farther? Just go to therickdollarshow.com and fill out the contact information. Someone from our advertising department will contact you as soon as they finish their lunch. The Rick Dollar Show, helping your business be more successful. And now, back to more fun.
yeah.
And we went to New York the first time, man, and I was looking for Lindy's cheesecakes. I don't know if you ever heard of that or not.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There's like this small street, and my wife and I are walking around, and I asked, was asking somebody about something, and I was like, "Where's Lindy's cheesecakes?" And we went down there, and the dude was like, "Oh, we ship out 100,000 cheesecakes a year in this little small thing that looks like, I don't know, just tiny." And all you could hear were the mixers going all the time.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
that's not good for me. I could sit down in there for about 5 or 6 hours and
Yeah.
do some damage.
Oh yeah.
But now at IBMA, actually, you're going to be a speaker on a panel celebrating Hazel Dickens. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, I'm so psyched. This is actually the what would have been Hazel's 100th birthday this year.
Wow.
So there's been a handful of folks who've been honoring her in different ways.
Yeah.
Della Mae has done a couple shows with Lori Lewis, and they're going to be performing at IBMA as well. And then Jen Larson is an amazing person, also a great singer-songwriter, but she was at the Opry, the Grand Ole Opry, she was the archivist, the person in charge of curating all of their collection of country stars and bluegrass stars memorabilia. And so she, pretty much coolest job ever.
Yeah,
And she
that's
recently,
shocking that you could even do that job.
I
And,
know
you'd
it's a
probably need like
job.
8 or 10 people, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh, so much stuff that they have. And she's organizing this panel discussion. Perfect person to do it with her knowledge and expertise in the bluegrass legacy, and especially the legacy of Hazel Dickens as a female artist. She really kind of was impacted as much as I was, for example,
Yeah, I can
by
imagine.
Hazel.
What got your attention about Hazel? Was it just her longevity there, or the job that she did, or the way she handled that job?
Hazel is really credited as being the first, her along with Alice Gerrard, the first women to like head their own band, to be the band leader.
Wow.
So, before that, it was, a lot of really common to have all dudes in the band, just the time, the era, the traveling part of it, all of that. Even though people are, Ralph Stanley, Monroe, they all credit, their mothers and their sisters for being huge inspirations in music and who they learned from. It just was less common to see women traveling and performing in the 50s and 60s. So Hazel Dickens and Alice Gerrard were really like a couple of the first out there. And for me, I've always been attracted to like traditional bluegrass, that early stuff, and digging up old recordings. And so most of the people that I like listen to and try to emulate were guys performing, and I loved it. It's music. We all, no matter who you are, where you come from, if you get bit by the bluegrass bug,
it's over.
Yep. But when I found Hazel and Alice, there was that kind of a new, different connection where I could like hear and emulate her vocal stylings and hear about her story, and see her kind of taking this new, like a really more powerful stance as a leader in the band. And her songwriting in particular, I think, really struck me. She did write things, more from a woman's perspective. A lot of, not just murder ballads or poor mom sitting at home or poor girlfriend I had to leave.
That my wife could write a murder ballad, though.
Yes, exactly.
If she ever does, Laura, you got to help me. I'm probably tied up in the basement somewhere.
Yes, I get it. So, the songwriting, hearing those other topics, and then just, her general writing too about any topic is, very personal, the way she paints a picture and tells a story. And there's something about that draws people in and makes them, think about things differently. And I just think that is such a powerful thing. So I think there are a lot of people that cite Hazel as like a big early influence. Bluegrass and old time, her work for, women's rights and coal miners' rights and all sorts of stuff like that too, that has really helped a lot of people that might, kind of be under the radar and not have much of a voice. So it's really special for me to see her being recognized and honored this year at IBMA. And then the panel, if folks are headed over there, it's definitely something to check out at IBMA, because it's going to be Ken Irwin, Dudley Connell, Alice Gerrard, and then, Jen Larson and myself. So really especially all those other folks, Ken, Dudley, Alice, they knew and worked with Hazel for years and years. So really getting some firsthand accounts of what that was like to know her and what she really represented. And for, I'm hoping to get some great stories.
Oh, I'm sure you will.
Yeah.
And plus the diversity, of just the people that I know that you mentioned. Wow, yeah. That's going to be something else.
Yeah, definitely. And I've had the privilege of working with a lot of students through the years, either at camps, or I've been doing work with Berklee College of Music the past several years. And a lot of times people do ask me like, can you teach something about women in bluegrass? Because, they know all the awesome dudes and the recordings and the history, but sometimes because it was less prevalent at the time, the recordings about, really showcasing the women that had an impact, or just they're not as easy to find, or something. So exactly. I've been able to dig around and kind of show people, oh, did you ever hear this song, or this woman who played on this cut or wrote this, and I think that experience I will definitely be able to bring, like how generation after generation, a person like Hazel Dickens, who has this longevity in the field from a young woman to, in her later years, she was still performing and writing. We have this whole life of work that, we're able to keep passing down to future artists, and more women are interested and playing and doing a great job and, successful in bluegrass music. So
yeah, maybe I'm just
cool.
weird, but I think it would be people like that. I think they should, cryogenically freeze their brain or something so that you could go back in there and get some of that information every once in a while. It's just kind of it's strange, because they know so much and they've probably forgotten half of it over the years, but it just shocks me sometimes that there's so much knowledge about this industry and this business out there.
Yep, the life experiences that many of those folks had, living the lives they did and traveling and seeing the world, and it's pretty amazing.
I think the traveling side of it you probably got down pretty good though. But you gotta keep, like you're saying, you got to keep your eyes open, man, when you're at these places, so you can remember some of this.
Well, we were talking. You forget half of it that you didn't experience.
That's so true, man.
So much, but yeah, I mean, the last 10 years, I did quite a bit of touring and performing all over the country and all over the world with the Po Ramblin Boys and with Alan Bibey and Danny Paisley. That was really kind of my first national touring gig. So really thankful for all those experiences. And now looking back on it, I'm not committed to a full-time touring gig right now, but doing a lot of freelance stuff and really developing my own voice and my solo project, working on that. So it's a cool place to be, to like really dive in creatively with all those experiences that I have had.
So are you satisfied now with what's happening with you, as far as maybe not your personal life? I don't want to go into your personal life with you too much, but I'm talking about just every day. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at this picture, and your surroundings look so beautiful there. I know that if you're, like we were talking about with, Susan and I going to the mountains just for a while, and because I know that I'm going to find that thing that I'm looking for those 4 or 5 days. I'm going to find that there. And I know that you're being inspired where you're at right now, and I mean, having Josh around too is probably not a bad thing. I mean, he could write, a song in about 15 seconds,
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And so the inspiration is there constantly. Not just with the surroundings, but with the people that you're around there with. So
yeah, definitely. That was a big part of my choice of where, when I wanted to come off the road with the Po Ramblin Boys and live outside of town a little ways. I've lived in Nashville for almost 2 years, I guess, which is a really cool experience. But, I started to think, there's something about being a little bit more removed out of the hustle and bustle, being in nature, having access to, hiking and the lake and all things like that. That really,
you got a cool lake there.
Yes. Yeah. I just got a canoe for my birthday. So I've been out the water a little bit, but all of that stuff, like you're saying, for me is really building that creative space where it's like, you just, at any moment you get inspiration, things kind of come to you, you feel ready.
That's right.
So I'm definitely appreciating all of that at where I am in my life.
Yeah. I can't wait to hear the music that comes out of that. That's gonna be the big thing.
Yeah, I think so.
Because you get to share that with everybody that you run into and anybody that listens to your music. So
yeah.
that's
just a little piece of me and my life, and it's a nice way to give back to the world. It's like some parts of, getting ready for an album or songwriting, practicing are so individual. It's like you do it alone in your office and you just hunker down.
Exactly. Yeah, I know what you mean.
But then, it gets like, it's a little lonely at moments, but really it's exciting. There's adrenaline around that. And then, at the other end of that, hopefully your music will impact somebody else positively, and you'll be able to share in all these interactions.
Yeah.
At shows or jamming. So there's always that reward on the other side of it.
So you're working on this, you're putting out, tracks on this record. And what does the future look like? I mean, just give us a little snippet into what you think you're going to end up doing finally with all of this talent and beauty around you. What are you going to do?
Well, I'm pretty happy here in Kentucky.
I can tell.
Working on the house and making it even more of a home is a good goal here. And then I've really enjoyed Josh and I have made a duo called First Far West. We've played a few shows under that name, and we're hoping to record as that entity as well this winter, a lot of Josh's original newer songs. So that's really exciting. Do some shows with that duo. And then I'm hoping, springtime or so to be releasing my next solo project, which these songs we've been talking about are all a part of, and starting to tour that project a little bit, just a good CD release tour or two. And then looking to book some shows next summer, festivals, and just, a couple runs each month of different festivals that have been the highlights for me in the past. You get your favorites when you tour for 10 years of like,
sure you do.
that's a really fun one. Or, I always have great memories from Jenny Brook Bluegrass Festival in Vermont. So folks like that, reach out and check in on me. And I feel so fortunate that, they're thinking of me and I'm thinking of them. So, hoping to tap into some of those longtime relationships and build some little tours, and just be playing music out under my own name. That's kind of the idea.
That's got to be the shocker right there, man. When they say, just say your name, and you're not a part of, 6 people. And you're
right.
You got that individuality coming out there, and that means a lot. So
yeah.
Thank you so much for sitting down with me and enjoying this beautiful view behind you too. I mean, this is just, I love it.
Good.
Kentucky's a great place. I mean, it's just
gorgeous. We've had a fake fall here recently. It's been
really?
75, 80 degrees. Leaves are falling a little bit early. So I've been loving every minute, but I know it's supposed to get back into the 90s next week. So
yeah, I'm just saying, man, it's, it's like today was going to be my day to relax outside. So it's like 95 outside in, southern Georgia. So
of course.
Whoopee. So anyway, well, Laura, have a good day, and tell Josh we said hey, and congratulations on all your success. And things are just going to start happening for you, I think, to a level that you've never thought they were going to happen. So keep that in mind.
Rick, I appreciate it. And thanks for having me on again. Good to see you.
Hey, good to see you too. Hey, Rick Dollar here for the Rick Dollar Show and the Rick Dollar Show podcast. And my guest today has been Miss Laura Orshaw.
This has been the Rick Dollar Show podcast. The Rick Dollar Show podcast is produced by Radio Dog Productions. Theme music is written and performed by Jeremy Garrett at garrettgrass.com. The Rick Dollar Show podcast cannot be reproduced or rebroadcast without express written consent from Radio Dog Productions. I'm Kent Jones, and this has been a Radio Dog production.